So the next thing now is to make the screw. The part number on the manual is a 93B, and the overall length was just under 11.5 inches. The max diameter was this collar. On the original, the collar is pinned. I think I'm going to make it all one piece, and so the outside diameter that's going to be 5/8. So I'm going to start with something around 14 inches or so. So I got a bunch of room here to put it in the lathe, and we'll get started on it. So at this point I've taken the rough material here. I've got about a 2-inch section turned, and then in the collet end, in the 3/4 collet, and then I faced off this end, put a center in there, and now we got to run it between centers here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, the max diameter I need is 625, and this is 750 right now, so I'm just going to clean this up, get it close to 625 and get rid of this scale and stuff, and then we'll start laying out what we need. So what I've got going on here is this is the following rest, and I've never used one of these before, and just I'm not 100% sure whether I should have the following rest leading the cutting edge or trailing it. I think just based on the fact that I have to get in here tight to the live center, I don't see any other way but the following rest is actually leading the cutting edge, which presents a little bit of trouble down here at this end. This is a shoulder that I want on there, so but the threads, actual threads on the lead screw stop about 3/4 or an inch short of this collar here. So I'm not sure that that's actually going to be a problem, and then it gets stiffer as I get down here, so I can run down as far as this will allow me, get this diameter good here for threading, and then I can always come back and blend this diameter in here. It's right here in the middle that I'm worried about it. So right now I've got it just a real light cut here. I've got the dial on the cross slide zeroed out, and I just want to see how true I can get this thing. So what I've done is, this was after that first pass, I just mapped out what the diameters look like here. So this is the end. This section here, I pulled the falling rest supports off just to finish into that shoulder, and then right before it, I'm like 5.5, so like just over a ½ inch, 55.7 over a half. 55.4, 53, 51, 54, and 54 and 54. So it looks like prior to running this thing with a steady rest, I was getting larger in the middle because of the pressure. I'm assuming because of the pressure of the tool pushing the part away, which gave me a bulge in the middle. And I think at this point, my first pass with the following rest, I might have had too much pressure on it, allowing the following rest to push the part into the tool, because I was getting quite a heavy cut through here. I did notice that the cut changed as it came through the part here. So I'm going to just dial in a few thou and try and adjust a little less pressure on the following rest and see if I can straighten this out. So it looks like that's the answer. We have 51, 51, 51. Got a little spot there that's reading 52. Not sure what's going on there, but I'm going to try and repeat this and maybe take like 5 thou off per side. I've just been taking a couple thou, just making sure I'm creeping up and I've got something that I know what I can do consistently here. So I got roughly 50 thou to go on this major diameter, so I got a little bit of playroom here to make sure I can get it straight before I get to the final diameter. So at this point I've taken the following rest off and I just did a little bit of filing. I didn't quite have the diameter I wanted up here at this end where I was releasing the following rest, so I just filed that down. It's quite a range for a major diameter. And one of the things that I did, probably not showing up here, I put the left hand tap up against here and just kind of made sure I was thinking properly, is that I'm going to run the stock in forward but run the feed in reverse to create the left hand thread, which means I'll be threading from here that way. So I got to figure out I've got a fixed center with the relief in it. At the slow speed it might be alright. I don't want to bind that up on there. And then one of the other things I did too was just to make sure, put a regular thread up against, and I should be going in the opposite direction, which I am. So next step is start setting up the thread. One of the things that I do need for the lead screw is an Acme external thread insert, and I thought I had a 10 TPI, but I don't. All I have is a 12. So what I'm going to use, this grinding fixture that I can set at any angle. I got a protractor here that I'm going to set this to 14.5 degrees. So I'll be cutting this at the 14.5 degrees here, and I'm going to try and put a little bit of relief in it as well by tipping this when I put it on the surface grinder. So we'll see what we get here. Kind of nice actually, the way this thing is made. There's a little bit of a shelf on this side, so it's easy to set that angle. I just want to check it with some light from behind. looks pretty good. So at this point I've got the 29.5 degrees, or 29 degrees, sorry, 14.5 each side, ground. And what I wanted to do was make sure I got that geometry right. And then I started stoning, or grinding first, and then stoning this edge here with relief on both sides. And then I took the tip and got the tip the right width for 10 threads per inch. So at this point now I'm just going to do some more honing, try and get a really sharp edge here, and then on the one end where we got the extra stock on the material, we'll just do a little test cut and see how this is going to cut for us. Just doing a little test cut here, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I'm almost set up here. Got the following rest. Got the Acme single point. Got the compound on 0. 14.5 there. Got the cross slide on 0, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it right about there, and I'm going to thread this way, which will give me a left hand thread, and it's going to be tight down here. At this point here I will probably retract at least one crank on the handle, maybe 2, and at the same time I'm going to switch from forward to reverse while leaving the threading handle engaged all at the same, I'm going to leave it engaged through the whole thing, and I'll reverse back down this way here. And when I get back down here, throw it in forward and bring the tool in. That's the plan. It's a little late tonight to start that, so that's tomorrow's challenge. Well, here goes nothing. So that's the collar. I'm really happy with that fit. I was throwing up just a tiny little burr on the back side where the tool is moving in this way. It wasn't quite sharp, so I had to file that down. So that's fitting nice. And then the other thing that we got to check is when I thought about it after, I pressed this into here and I should have left it out, but I think I got everything sorted out. Oh, that's beautiful. So the depth of cut on that was exactly what the gauge said, was 0.5 times the pitch, which is 50 plus 10 thou, so that was 60 thou. And I cut that in 5 thou passes, and right up to about, I think 55 I did a spring pass, and then I went 2.5 thou, 2 more steps, and then did a spring pass at 60. Very happy with that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to back these supports off here. I'm going to disengage the half nut. And I'll speed the lathe up a bit. Really looking good. One of the other things I wanted to check too before I broke the setup down was this here fit, which is really good. Not sure whether they're going to put like a little thrust washer in there or something, but so at this point we've got the the screw done. I haven't got the end done yet, where we're going to put the crank handle on. But to get the screw done, we got the moving jaw pretty much ready to go. The only thing I did notice is there's supposed to be a pin through here, like an anti-rotate pin. I haven't put that in yet, so I got to make sure to do that. We've got the hardware for the end here done, with the exception of got to make a pin for there, and then once I'm going to dry fit all this, and I've already done it once. I had a little trouble in the center here. I had to massage that thread just a little bit to get it to go through the brass nut in the moving jaw. But once, make sure everything's good, then I got to put a groove in here, like a key slot, which is like an anti-rotate for this system here. But the dry fit is looking good. So we got that there. Probably be easier if I had to drive in the end of this. I could put it in there with the handle. So everything's lining up nice. It was lining up nice. We're back in action. I had cut these screws to length and needed to touch it up on this pedestal grinder just a little bit. Didn't want to start. I'm going to have to get some, I think they're Philister screws that are supposed to be in there. So then what happens on this end, this is like a little spacer here. And then the anti-rotate washer, and then the collar goes on. Doesn't want to work because the collar needs to be secured on there, otherwise it's binding up now as I'm trying to return it. looking pretty good. A few more things to do here and we'll be ready to try it out on the machine.